Actually, it's all good. We made a stretch goal over the weekend. Thank you. Spirit Pets confirmed and all that. Really excited, really happy. I am, that's definitely one of my personal favorites. So, as always, thank you guys. Follow up to that is, of course, the Realm Honors on Steroid stretch goal. This is a really fun, really easy stretch goal for the studio to complete. It is cosmetics. It is stuff that a lot of you have been asking for on the forums. People were talking about even during the Kickstarter. So, here's a nice, easy way to accomplish some of the goals with the Realm Honor System. It is a two-part one, as I said on the in the text. The second part will be more technically geared than cosmetically geared. So, I think you guys have a lot to look forward to. Hopefully, we'll be able to, or you guys will be able to make the stretch goal happen quickly, because the stretch goal afterwards, that's a really important one. It's one that we have talked about, as all of our backers know from the Kickstarter. We've been talking about it since then and even before. And unlike other stretch goals, where we don't talk about them even on the forums until right before they are made, well, we're talking about them now. So all of you backers, if you're interested in what the next stretch goal after this one is going to be, if you want to have your voices heard on it, head to the forums and look for another something to think about from me and the discussion, the debate, though it's really almost entirely just a very easy discussion, has been going on, since last week. So that's the current update on goals, or on current goals. Let's talk about an old goal, a goal that has been one that, to say the least, has been difficult, for the studio to pull off. And that was hiring 2 senior engineers. It's been a nightmare. We've been very honest that we've had a very difficult time getting senior engineers to come either move to Virginia, mostly to move to Virginia. And as all of our backers know, we put up a stretch goal for it. And we told you that we were going to use that money for working with a recruiting firm, and that money was going to be used to pay to get these folks into the studio. We also made a change. Instead of everyone having to work at the studio, we said that for 2 senior guys, they could work remotely. Well, you guys have been asking about this one continually on the forums. I've been very, quiet, paranoid about it, because a lot of things can happen between, guys saying yes and guys actually working for us. And as of this morning, as of 8 o'clock this morning, Californian time, we have achieved one half of the stretch goal. I am extremely happy, pleased, proud to say to you folks that because of that stretch goal, we were able to hire a senior engineer, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. So, his name is Kevin Bray. Kevin is a lead engineer, graphic engineer, and he kind of has worked on some things that you guys might have heard of. The last one being this game, I think most of you have probably heard of it, League of Legends. Riot Games. He was the lead engineer, lead engine programmer on the team, among other things. This guy is a hardcore PvP player. He loves games. His wife loves games and worked on MMOs. He's a guy who's going to work with Andrew to take our engine to the next level, as well as do other things. Kevin is a great guy. He's worked on his own engine. He's worked on engines for other studios. He's worked on games that are fairly, wide ranging, including one of the SimCity titles, Metal Gear Solid title. But most importantly about Kevin, this is a guy who loves to code. He's been coding his since he was a kid, and he's the perfect, an absolutely perfect hire for the team. This, folks, is on you. You guys made the stretch goal happen. The stretch goal allowed us, to hire the firm that brought Kevin, to us. And after lots of phone calls, a visit to the studio, and more phone calls, I am incredibly happy to say that he has started work today. So, guys, gals, all, thank you so much. That stretch goal is halfway done. In terms of the second half of the stretch goal, well, hopefully by the end of the week, we will be ready to make a decision on a senior network engineer. We've had some terrific candidates, and so far so good. Hopefully, no promises, but hopefully by the end of the week, we'll be able to say that we've hired the second half. So again, Kevin Bray, welcome on board. We look forward to great things from him. It will be great to have another senior engine guy working, with Andrew. And after all, you can't throw enough top talent at something like building your own engine. And Kevin, well, he is the kind of guy we needed, to add to Andrew's and the rest of the team here to make this all happen for you folks. So that's really the major update on the stretch goals. Again, folks, go to the forums. Check out the something to think about for the next stretch goal, and you can see what we're talking about for the next one. It's going to be a big one. It's an important one. It's something that we talked about back in the Kickstarter. So come on in and, chat. So, boy, what else? Updates. I'll be posting a bigger update today, talking about the things we've accomplished over the last week or so. We will be having an alpha test, hopefully, on Wednesday. We are currently making a new build for you alpha testers, excuse me, to play. And again, if all goes well, we're going to open it up to some of the beta folks. We said that before. We weren't ready. Hopefully, we will be ready. What else? Well, that's it. For those of you who have been so kind in expressing comfort, words of concern, prayers, thoughts for myself and my wife, thank you so very much. Jan's surgery is tomorrow, so I will be out of the office for a couple days, but the team will certainly keep you all posted about how everything goes. Hopefully everything will go great. So, that's it right now. I'm going to open this up to a Q&A. Please keep the topic, please keep your questions as much as possible onto these topics, onto the current stretch goal, the last stretch goal. If you have questions about Spirit in the Sky, if you have any questions about hiring or about Kevin, you certainly can ask them now. And we'll see how long we go before I say, got to get back to work. So that's it. And putting up chat so I can see everything you guys are typing. And feel free to start asking. Can we publish our Spirit plans? When we get further along, we'll do that. How to spell his surname, B-R-A-Y. What other positions still needing to be filled after the senior engineers? We just put up a hiring rec for a technical artist, a lead technical artist. So we are certainly looking for that. We've been continuing to interview both modelers and environmental artists. Oh yeah, I mentioned this on the forums. We also have, hopefully this week, if not next week, some art assets from our first of two interns will be going into the game. So you guys will be able to see some of that. And that's it on immediate hires. Certainly there'll be more. We're also interviewing outsource, or will be interviewing outsourcing firms to see who can meet some of our needs. Sorry, guys. What did Kevin make special? Well, we've looked at a lot of really talented folks. I mean, whether it was when Anna was simply interviewing people who would get links from or requests from us, or now through the recruitment firm, we've seen a lot of really, really talented folks. The difference with Kevin was not only that he was talented, but he seems to be a really good spiritual fit for the studio. And, just like DB and his interesting interview and, request for the dance-off, we liked what we heard from Kevin as well. So, talent, there's a lot of people who have it. But you also have to be the kind of person who can fit in here. And Kevin certainly seems like he's that kind of guy. Arobi, thank you for the kind words for the team. Yeah, everyone here does work very hard, but that's our job. You folks have put a lot of money into the project. I've put money into the project, and we should work hard. Cyclodia, will we have Thurgis, the animus kind of type of pets in a future stretch goal? Why don't we see what you think of the current plans, and then we'll see about pets after that. Are the plans for spirits to be affected by collision detection or not from Sacrix? The current pets, do you mean, well, it doesn't really matter whether you mean collision detection against players or collision detection against objects who are not players. The whole point with the spirit pets is that they will move through things. That was, if we have collision detection with all of the pets, and I'm not saying all of them will have or that none of them will have collision detection, that could be part of certainly one of the issues that has plagued us or other teams, in the past. Will Kevin have a webcam presence in the office like Andrew's when he's working from home? Andrew and Kevin were talking about that this morning. Certainly, while Kevin is working remotely, we want to see him. He wants to see us. And we're still hoping that we can convince him. So maybe you backers can help convince him as well to join us here in beautiful downtown Fairfax, Virginia. Do we have any live media streaming positions that might crop up? They might, but we really don't have the budget, for just for that kind of position. That's just how it is. Question about whether we could open up for the small stuff on the game to be done by you players. Well, certainly we already put stuff up on GitHub, right? So, we're perfectly happy to share, some of our code, and we certainly will be happy to talk to people who think they can add something to the project. You want more information on Ranger Spiker? It will be coming soon. Certainly, we've talked a little bit about archery, and if you head to the forums, you could hear something else that might interest you. Is Kevin going to introduce himself? At some point, absolutely. Bling, thanking us for being so transparent. You're welcome. We will certainly be as transparent as possible almost all the time. Certainly some things we can't talk about, as we've mentioned, you know, it's a little bit on the forums, but we certainly try hard. Banzinga, why do I get emails from you, Shroud, and Crowfall at almost the exact same time, day and time? I don't know. Who sends them out first? In our case, I wanted to wait until Kevin actually started this morning before I sent out the email about the live stream. Foggy. I don't think Lady J would let me grow the beard that long. I think this is about as long as she'll let it go. Maybe a little bit more. Our son has a longer beard, and she lets him get away with that. I don't know how. I don't know how much more she'd let me get away with. Does Kevin live in the U.S.? Yes, he does. Spiker, the 2 million that I put into the game, is that reflected in the 3.2? Nope, that's purely crowdfunding. You know, if you were part of the Kickstarter, you know that we had raised about 2.2 by the end of that Kickstarter. So if I had put in 2 million and the investor put in 2 million, and that was the total, and the number that we had up there would be kind of wrong. And I also thought putting in our, my money and the investors' money and counting that as crowdfunding, that'd be a kind of a cheat. So we haven't done it. Will pledge prices change soon? Not too soon. We said that we would change them when we go into the next step of testing. Hey, welcome to the French folks. Owed one investor. The investor put in 1 million. I put in 2. So we have 3 million in additional funding, plus what we have from you folks. Will all beta backers be able to take part in the alpha test? We'll probably start at 1 bit at a time. You know, obviously the folks who had the earliest beta will come in first, and then if we need more, we may open it up some more. CC, for about spirits stretch goal, could you explain what you meant when you've mentioned possibly having some pets as turrets? I think that's pretty simple stuff in terms of what we can do in the short term. So if you had a pet, and let's say you put the pet somewhere on guard duty, essentially, or you send out the pet to stop at a certain location and attack anything that comes within its range, that sort of thing. Tricon, are we going to have a variation of duration control among the different realms? There has to be. We've said no mirrored classes, so the differences between the different spirit pets and the spirit pet classes on the realms has to be different as well. Homestar question is an update on the development timeline. Our website does have the latest timeline. And if you mean our FAQ, if our FAQ hasn't been updated, we'll get that done. I thought we had updated that, unless you're referring to the Kickstarter FAQ, which we can't touch because it's locked down, like every Kickstarter is locked down after it funds. Or actually, sorry, after it concludes. Do we have an art studio already in mind for outsourcing? Oh no, not even close yet. We have to do, and I know sometimes it seems we're a little slow on things, uh, but we have to do our due diligence. We have to be careful. We have to, be sure we don't waste your guys' money. Um, or just like T-shirts. I know it seems like such a simple thing. It really isn't. Um, as I told one of our backers who asked about it over the weekend, the problem with the T-shirts is that when we sent out the survey, it turned out that we have more than 5,000, almost 6,000 T-shirts we're going to have to make for backers across the world. So finding the right company not only to manufacture the T-shirt, but then also to distribute the T-shirt to folks, to all you folks, it turned out to be a little bit trickier. Plus, when we are going to do a run of 5,000, and as we talk to you folks about on the forums, this is not a print on demand, setup. So we're going to be purchasing the T-shirts ahead of time and manufacturing them. So you guys, can get the best price and the best quality. And so we had to be really careful. And so it's taken a bit longer, and I'm sorry for that. But it won't be much longer, I promise. We are hopefully maybe a little more than a week from having a final decision. And if all goes well, the store will be set up in a couple of weeks after that. Could Spirit Pets possibly attack or locate stealthers in the Vale? It's not something I'm considering right now, but could it be? Well, do we have stealthers yet? Sorry. Go to the forums, find out. In terms of the T-shirts, great, well said, HJ Hammer, about my spare black polos. I probably have a lot. Question about the pledge would be available, the current prices, certainly through the end of alpha. So you've got, number of months. Okay, here's a question that certainly I spent way too much time on Friday talking to a couple backers about um, regarding server locations, and there's whether it's confusion or just a little concern. Let me say again what our policy is, and this hasn't changed since even before the Kickstarter launched. Right now, we plan to have servers up in North America and Europe. How many servers are there going to be in each area? That's to be determined. Will people be able to play on multiple servers across both regions? Yes. Are we region locking? No. North American, European players can play on whatever darn servers they want to. It is totally up to you guys. How many? How many servers will be in each territory? That we're going to talk to you backers about. It will be probably one of, if not the most important survey we are going to put out to you folks. And not now, and not for quite a while. You're going to tell us, you the backers are going to tell us whether you'd rather play on North American servers, European servers, or both. The reason we have to ask you, of course, is we have to know how much hardware either to buy or to spin up. Obviously, we're not EA. We're not, ZeniMax. We can't just buy out large, data centers. So we will need to know from you folks where you want to play, okay? Whether you want to play connected, from Europe to a European server, from Europe to a North American server, etc. So hopefully, this will answer the questions that have come up more than a few times, and nothing again has changed. You guys and gals are going to tell us, really what's most important to you in terms of the server locations, and we're going to pay attention to that. And one question that did come up that I think is a good one was that would we have a stretch goal, for example, to set up servers in Europe? No stretch goal for that. You guys from Europe who have been very generous in your donations to the game, you're paying for that already. So no, don't worry about it. There will not be an additional stretch goal for set up servers in Europe. No, they're going to be set up in Europe. And if more people want them there, fantastic. Okay, so if you've asked a question while I've been rambling on for the last few minutes, ask it again because I was not paying attention to the chat while I was speaking. Yeah, this is a question that also came up on the forums. When are we going to start talking about the classes? We're going to talk more about the classes after we get more mechanics into the game, after more of air is into the game, as to other things are into the game. Then we can start talking more about classes. Going back to, I should have said this during the ramble about servers. Yes, we can set up things on the cloud. We're already up on the cloud, Smuzzle, with Amazon. The problem is when you set things up on the cloud, they tend to be more expensive if you run them full time. The cloud is great if you want to spin up things quickly, but the cloud isn't so great if you have high demand and these servers are running 24/7. At that point, it is much cheaper generally to buy your own servers if you have predictable and steady demand and you set up a co-location deal. In the short term, like we're doing now, we certainly have a lot of experience, as Corey, for example, could tell you, with spinning up servers. Question, will we be using the store, what store, as a primary monetization model or sticking with a sub? Oh, okay. Well, that's easy. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If this is a subscription-based game and a full-price subscription-based game, there isn't going to be a cash shop. Sorry. The only thing we're going to do is set things up, as once again we've said, for things like maybe server moves. We're not going to be selling stuff. You guys are paying a full-price sub. You shouldn't be nickeled and dimed by this company. That's what the sub is for. If we had a cheaper sub or we had no sub, well, sure, but I think everyone here knows my attitude to free-to-play plus cash shop games. Not that I have anything particularly against them as a model. Everyone's welcome to have their own, but our model is subscription, and we're not going to be looking to build out a cash shop to sell tons and tons of stuff to you guys. Very clear about that. Nothing has changed. Any plans on using some of the old Dark Age server names? Yep, we do have a plan. That would be a no. Sorry, those server names, really not belong in a legal sense, but those should be for Dark Age. Nazgul, can I have an option of creating a Game of Thrones sized frost giant? Wasn't that cool? Finally, a good episode of Game of Thrones, a great episode. The giant there was awesome. We watched it at my house as usual, but unlike most of the season, this was a great episode. Will our giants be that big? We'll see how big we can get them before it gets silly. We have talked about multiple stages, so, anything is possible. Any news about subscription price? We've said, right from the beginning that, we are going to be a subscription-based game that will be below what is considered the typical price of subscription-based games. No Game of Thrones spoilers, people. For people, I just said there was a giant in the game. And besides, somebody asked me the question. So, hey, come on, guys. Don't give anything away. Do we have an idea yet of the population soft cap per server? No, more than we had back certainly in Dark Age or Warhammer or typically for these games, mainly because we don't have to worry as much about NPCs as or quests or all the other stuff that the servers have to worry about. Hey, R3, I did not start it. I was asked by Nazgul. Blame him. Spiker, do we have a golden number in mind for the size of active player-based subscribers? Yeah, I mean, we've been very clear that at 50,000, we're fine with running the game. At 100,000, or more, then things are great. So those are our numbers. CC, about Realm Rewards, how will you be earning them? By playing the game. I mean, honestly, they're not going to be random in that sense. You're going to have to go out. You're going to have to, kill other players. You're going to have to burn down, structures. You're going to have to take over structures. So it's all there. Oh, but let's go. All I did say was a great episode. And then, hey, giant, big. Tron, how many lifetimers have we gotten so far? A lot. I can't, for obvious reasons, or maybe not obvious reasons, give out the number. I actually don't know the number off the top of my head. Have I blown up a castle yet? No, haven't even come close to that yet. Will there be an auction house? We said no. There may be an exchange for materials that people can, sell that way, but not to, not for the selling of items. Let's see. Question about leveling. Look, we've said from the beginning that Jung, that we're going to be a horizontal leveling system. So that's going to happen. It's already happening and will certainly happen going forward. Could we have an open RVR server? It's up to the backers. If we have enough people who wanted that, I'd be certainly happy to talk about it. I love alternate rule sets, as any longtime player knows. I had alternate rule sets in my first online game, Galaxy. So, yeah, that was 30 years ago. When are we going to see more stuff from Co? Oh, soon. We got to get further along. He did a great job with us and for us. But certainly I do not want, to waste, well, frankly, anyone's time until we show the next iteration and then the next iteration. Do I think our trial run with Co was successful? Oh, it was great. Co is, obviously a major streamer. He did a wonderful job showing off the game. There was another streamer who's also Ardix, who is also a personal friend, great guy, and he'll be showing more, and we're going to do more with both them and others as we move forward. But we want the game to be further along. We want these guys or anyone who's showing off the game to be able to say, "Hey, I saw this, and now look at this, and look at the progress these guys have made." Question about what type of penalties am I thinking of for dying? Certainly, death has to have a sting. You're not going to be popping right back up, right where you were. As to what the actual death penalty will be, it'll be a bit complicated. You don't want to do anything like, oh, certainly, when you die, you lose all your stuff, or even a lot of your stuff. We've said that there won't be, it is not a full loot PvP game. So, there's going to be different things that will happen to the character on death. And it won't be, any one of them, hopefully, will not be so harsh that people look at as a quit point. But on the other hand, you don't want it to be meaningless either. OD will be a combination. Will backers get a chance for the first dibs on in-game names? Well, yeah. If you're in first, then you lock in a name. Guinness, I can't answer. How long do I envision a 1v1 fight lasting? At this point, it's going to be what's fun, right? And, even if I tried to go down examples of melee versus melee, melee versus magic, even that isn't anywhere near that simple. I think the simplest thing to say is that, look, it can't be so long that it's boring, and you can't be one or two shotted. This is a horizontal system, so I expect that, yeah, different Guinness, you're right. Apologies. It's going to take a little bit more time. A little bit more time to figure out, sorry. Will we do cross-server names reservation? Actually, haven't talked about that. So I don't know what the answer is. Will boats only go from one island to nearest connecting island or anywhere you want to go? They will have routes. The current plan is that you have routes between the islands. Any ETA on when the game will stay up for longer periods of time? Yeah, when we get into beta and beyond. Look, this is an old school alpha test, and even in new school, more recent games who've gone into alpha, they don't keep, most of them don't keep the servers up and running 24/7. Will we have more? Will they be up longer as we go through get deeper into alpha? Absolutely. But they won't be 24/7. Tesseract is the game engine, both client and server being designed so that it will scale. Certainly hope so. Andrew's a pretty smart guy, and Kevin's a smart guy, and Tim's a smart guy, and JB, and everybody, and Dave, and Brian, and Bull, and Rob. We've got a bunch of smart, guys here, and Corey. Sorry, Corey. So, we've got a bunch of smart guys. So I think the answer is yes. Well, good one, Impure. How will the stretch goal realm honors be integrated in Cube? That's great. One of the nice things about Cube is, besides the fact we hope it will be fun and be an integral part or important part, I don't know if integral is the right word, part of the building system, we think we can certainly and should be giving you things that are, for display in your home. For example, let's look at like a stretch goal duck. If we want to have fun rewards for you guys, maybe we'll give you rewards that will be used in your house. Gypsy, smart women too. Yes, very smart women. Unfortunately, none of them are programmers yet. Dying to have more, female programmers. We got none. So hopefully soon we have some at Mythic. We'd love it, here as well. Could realm mounters also extend to guilds? Oh, of course. Yeah, I'm sorry if I haven't made that clear. Yes, yes, yes. Guilds should be able to earn rewards, separate rewards as well. I'll make that clear. That's a really good question. I'll make that clear in the description. The only thing I'll say about combat pace, it would be certainly closer to Dark Age than it would be to WoW. How's that? Will we have wearable rewards that can be recognized from a distance? I got in trouble once for promising that, certainly things like with beards. So I'm not actually going to promise anything. Though for you guys who know me know that it was something I was very interested in and remain interested in. But I don't want to promise yet. Will we be partnering up with more streamers? Absolutely. But I want to have more to show. And for those of you who have been, in the alpha test, or even those who are in the pre-alpha test, you know that we've been focusing very heavily on tech. Tech isn't necessarily the most exciting thing in the world, and even though for us it's kind of important, for other people not quite as important. So we want to be a little bit further along before we start streaming more. Will any realm honors be tied to the bounty system? No decision on that yet. Haven't even discussed it. Will the size of your character affect the stats? Yes, it certainly can. What are the plans to keep people playing for a long time? Make a damn good game. Make sure it's fun. Hey, Audix, I didn't know you were here. Sorry. Thanks as always, man, for the support, and congrats on St. Jude's and your charity work. And as always, guys, for some of these folks who are asking questions that I've answered a couple of times or even once in chat, please jump in and answer them for them. Makes my life easier, and it means I can answer more of your questions. Can you have buff bots? Because that's pretty much what your question is, Luz. I've been very clear. We are not going to be rewarding buff bots, and this is something I've said every live stream when the question comes up. It's it's difficult. If you want to say allow a person to have more people on in a household play, and separating that from one guy, multi-boxing with a second machine, and not truly multi-boxing depending on your definition of multi-boxing. So look, if you're looking to come into the game with 8, 6, 5, whatever the number is, and use that to your advantage, we're certainly going to be looking for that, and that will be something that will not be supported by the game, and will run counter to our UALA. Drill, what do you mean by small PvP mode? Do you mean will you be able to only play in an 8-man or a Zerg? Or do you mean 8-man is small and the Zerg is big? Um, Certainly, Ibsen, yeah, that was Kim's sneeze. He does have a big sneeze, but that goes with his, big personality and talent. What is my level of satisfaction at this moment of the game's development? I wish we were further along. I wish we had more engineers. I've been, very clear about that. It has nothing to do with people not working hard. It has nothing to do with, whether we had to redo the entire game 5 times. Nothing like that. It's just been hiring. You guys know that. We've been very clear about that. We even had a stretch goal, multiple stretch goals, for hiring to speed stuff up. So, you know, would I like us to be further along? Yes. Am I proud of the team? Yes. Do I think it's going to pick up? We're going to pick up the pace? Yes. We spent a lot of time, as you folks know, doing a lot of infrastructural things with both the engine and the studio. That stuff takes time when you're a small team. Now we have now we've, added to the team, and we'll continue to add to the team. Will there be a speed class in the game? Absolutely. We already have an ability to add speed, and this is something we confirmed during the Kickstarter, and nothing has changed. Spiker, what MMOs do you and the team currently enjoy playing? Ask individual team members. Everyone, I shouldn't say everyone here has different games because we do overlap at times, but we've played a lot of games over the last couple of years. Though I admit I haven't played as many certainly in the last 6 months. Is it possible to outsource any of the items your team currently has responsibilities for? Absolutely. That's what we're doing, or looking at doing. Apollyon, do we plan on catering to the pretty things? Look at our stretch goals. How many of them have been for pretty things? This one is a pretty, this current stretch goal is one of the few goals that you could say is catering to pretty things. We've been focused on hiring. We've been focused on bigger things. Not necessarily better. Some people like pretty things, and to them it's more important than others. So, Sacrix, I'm not going to answer anything about stealth publicly right now. What we've said so far, Jung, about AoE caps is that I have no plans right now on standard capping. How are you going to give spirit pets that Geiger Lovecraft feel? Well, they won't all have to be that way. I think certainly some will be darker than others. CP Live, have I had any cool suggestions from junior team members? The word junior team member really doesn't apply here. We've had suggestions from the art team about game design. We had stuff that came in from Anna on our last game, and she's recruiting. It doesn't matter whether somebody's a junior team member, a senior team member. It's just a matter you're a team member. If you can add something to the game, it doesn't really matter whether you're junior, senior, whether you're an artist adding to design. Love to have contributions. Makes my life easier. The current approach to bug testing for CU, that's one reason we have the internal tester internal tester tier. It's another reason why we opened alpha to so many people. We'll open beta to so many people. We want you guys and gals in the game. I think the best way to do bug testing is by having people play the game. Are there any plans to let players dig into the terrain? Certainly not in the idea of digging under castles or digging secret passages to castles. That's a pretty tricky, and incredibly complicated system that I'd love to see, work. But boy, oh boy, talk about making our life even more difficult. Let's stick with what we have, get that right, and then anything is possible. Sacrix, have war bans been confirmed? No, they have not. Can crafters create something from the realm, from the stretch goal realm honors? Not even discussed yet. Will the depths be static? Nope. Great question. I don't think anyone's ever asked that. No. The depths is a living organism. It needs to change. Okay, we're coming up on 6 minutes, guys. I am going to cut this off at 4 o'clock. Is there going to be a safe zone in CU? Just what we discussed at the Kickstarter. Your opening city, your starting city, where you get off of the boat or out of the, character creator and into the game. That has to be safe. After that, well, that's up to you guys. Make it safe. Keep it safe. But in terms of us putting the majority of the world, or even a big part of the world, as safe zones, nope, that's not what we said during the Kickstarter, and that hasn't changed. Any chance we will see enemy heads on pikes? If we don't deliver a game, I know one game developer's head who will probably be on a pike. Question about can your vision really essentially change? Sure, if you're an archer. Marcus, great question about the stretch goals. Are we going to go with launch stretch goals or extender only? Combination. Look, we've been really clear. Everything depends on us and our schedule. We're not going to be putting on any other stretch goals, certainly, during the next year. That could delay the game. Next 2 years, that delay the game. On the other hand, if we got ahead of schedule, might we think about it? Yeah, but even then, probably not. Most of the stretch goals I expect will either continue to be the extended pack stretch goals, or potentially stuff like the realm honors, maybe some other things that we're thinking about. But we certainly do not have any interest in adding a lot of goals to the game before release that have any danger of delaying the game further. Yes, these are orange shorts, not orange pants. Anything at all about anti-CC and immunity right now? Well, you could keep asking. Doesn't mean I'm going to answer it. As you know from being on the forum, Sacrix, there's stuff that we're not going to talk about right now. Will we have serious crowd control? We've said we're going to have serious crowd control. Will there be crowd control? Will there be resistance and things like that? Well, of course. What kind of details? We'll talk about it when we get to that point. Travi, what's my confidence level that we're going to be able to deliver a game by December 2016? My confidence level depends on how many people we hire and what else can happen between now and December 2016. It's really that simple. It's not being evasive. It's just a matter of fact. I've been developing games forever. And sometimes things go well. Sometimes they don't go well. Sometimes, games are delayed. So, it isn't any more complicated than that. Oh, Apollyon, I thought I was floating over a cloud of orange smoke like a genie. That would be interesting. Yeah, that would certainly be an interesting visual. I think some people might not be able to get it out of their heads right now, and they'll thank you for that. Okay, guys, it's down to the last minute, so I'm going to look for one really, really good question, maybe two. Just in general, are we going to stream more? Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it. Okay, bring back Rollmaster Mage Storm. I'd love to. Love that game. Great game. So much fun. Okay, one more question. Okay, when's the next alpha test? Hopefully on Wednesday. I'll be out of the office tomorrow and Wednesday. I've asked the guys to set things up, and if all goes well, yes, we'll have it on Wednesday. Okay, that's it, folks. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to listen to this, whether live or on YouTube. In terms of today's update, obviously I love it. I can't tell you how excited I am, and I know Andrew and the rest of the team are, to get another senior programmer in here. Somebody, of course, coming from a great company like Riot, and a tremendously successful game like League of Legends. So we are thrilled to have Kevin. And I am, quite happy as well, obviously, about the stretch goal and the next two stretch goals. So, again, folks, go to the forums. Go look at the something to think about. So that's it, and I'm going to sign off. And guys, hopefully we'll see you soon on my next live stream. We'll maybe have another announcement. Bye.